Hey guys, it is Autumn Skylar Sings here, and today I kind of wanted to talk about where I've been. This is going to be another sit-down talking video, so if you're not really into that, I suggest clicking away, but if you are, let's get right into it. So, the best way I can describe what's happened throughout this past month that I've been away is to kind of go back to when we first started noticing something was wrong. Not all the way back to the beginning, but back to the middle of July. In the middle of July, about July 12th or somewhere around there, I got a series of nerve block injections from my neurologist. Not only that, but my baclofen was changed, that's my antispasmodic, as well as I was taken off of Diamox, a medication for intracranial hypertension, because she was of the opinion that since I didn't get any pain relief, that I didn't need it, that was not what was going on. Anyway, right after I got the series of nerve block injections, I got some severe side effects. And we were told that it was normal, and it wasn't until after that appointment, a few weeks after, that my mom found out that it was most definitely not normal what was going on. What happened was the spasticity that I had worked so hard to get rid of, that I worked through, and to the point where I didn't have any tremors left, came back. And it came back all at once. And I walked into that appointment, and after my lidocaine injections, I was wheeled out because I couldn't walk. And I was in a lot of pain. It made everything just worse. We were told that it was going to get better, and that if it didn't get better, to call her. She said within a few days. A few days passes, we call her, hey, this isn't better, what do we do? And she said, at that point, we couldn't get another appointment in for 2 months until September. And she said that we were going to be put on the wait list, and that was all that she could do, basically. And that we should just keep calling if it kept getting worse, which it did. Now, a couple of things happened in between. I went to Texas and I got to visit my boyfriend. My parents were of the opinion that I could either stay home and be miserable, or I could go to Texas, have fun, and still, be semi-miserable with both the pain and the leg tremors. And I'm glad that I got to go. Glad that I got to have that experience. I just wish that I hadn't had the shakies in my legs. Anyway, I came back from that, and every week, it seemed, I was getting worse and worse and worse, and we kept calling and calling and calling. Now, around August 25th, I believe, it was a Monday, things had gotten really bad, really bad. I was in an extreme amount of pain, and the tremors were terrible. I could hardly walk. I had to have one hand on my cane and one hand on the wall because I was not stable. I was off balance. It was very bad. And when we called, her opinion was to try switching around my baclofen again, raising it from 20 milligrams 3 times a day to 30 milligrams 3 times a day, which is an extreme thing to do. We're not talking about titrating it up. We're talking about switching immediately. And when we did that, again, every day things got worse until that Thursday I had an episode of Opisthotonus. For those of you that have seen the first video of my Chiari talk, you'll know what that is. For those of you that don't, basically Opisthotonus, it's a very rare thing. You can get it with tetanus, meningitis, and when you get it with Chiari, typically it happens in infants. It's very, very, very rare to happen in adults, but I'm the lucky one. And to describe what it is, it's going to sound a little weird. In those old possession movies where the girl gets possessed and she's like curling her back and coming off the bed, it's kind of like that minus the levitation. So after that happened, my dad called and said, what do we do? And my neurologist said, you need to go to the ER at CHOP. So we drove to Philly, and I was admitted into the ER. And basically, that I was in the ER for a night, and then I was transferred to their neurology floor. And that's where I stayed for 2 weeks. in that time, not even within 24 hours, they started saying that this was a psychosomatic conversion disorder case. Basically saying that subconsciously my mind was doing this. Sorry about the noise. Which was bullshit, because I was having these episodes leading up to my surgery, my Chiari surgery, which was why my Chiari surgery was emergent. And you never hear about Chiari surgeries being emergency, but they were because of those fits. But they completely disregarded that. They were saying, you know, it's just a conversion disorder. And this was without doing any extra MRIs, without doing any additional testing besides a CT scan. That was it. Then I did the MRIs just to see if everything was okay, and they said, good news, your syrinx is gone. And turns out it wasn't. They couldn't have possibly known that. I learned from a neurosurgeon who was talking to me because they didn't do the MRI low enough. Really, this place was shit. They treated me like shit. They didn't know what they were talking about. It was terrible. The head neurologist, you know, wanted to have some psychiatrists come in and evaluate me, talk to me, because since they were thinking this was a conversion disorder, psychology is a component of that. And the psychiatrists that came in were not of the opinion that this was what was going on. They said that they were going to make sure that they did every test that they could to rule out everything before the conversion disorder label got put on me. That was the last time we ever saw the psychiatrists, and long story short, we never got additional testing. We were told that getting additional testing was pointless. I mean, the rehab doctor from CHOP's Rehab came, evaluated me, and wanted a specific test done. And the neurologist came back and said, oh, we could do the test, but none of the doctors here know how to read it. What? What? You can't make this stuff up. It was a terrible experience. I was treated like shit. I was discriminated against because I have a psych history. And it's bullshit. Anyway, I was there for 2 weeks, and we were trying to get into CHOP's Rehab, but it was jam-packed. Everyone was trying to get in there. So they tried getting me into Rusk Rehab in Manhattan, and I got in. And that's where I stayed for about 2.5 weeks. And, still getting pissed off, because what we had hoped would be a better experience because we were getting away from CHOP, it was just as bad. We kept asking for tests, more tests, please do some tests, and they kept saying, we're not a diagnostic facility, so we're not going to do any tests. Which sucks, because meanwhile, I'm still having these episodes, and we even had a pediatrician come in and talk to us, and she was of the opinion that this could be a sign that things are going to get progressively worse, and that with my fits, each time I have them, things are getting worse. And then, of course, we never saw her again either, because whenever a doctor agrees with us, me and my parents, we never see them again, and none of the stuff that they suggest to do ever happens. So I was stuck there for 2 weeks, and again, shit. I had a pain doctor come and didn't want to address my pain. Not really. The first thing he did, which makes no sense, he switched around my psychiatric medication, because with a conversion disorder that has to do with, you know, my PTSD, the first thing you would do is switch around the depression and anxiety medication I've been on for 3 years that have made me stable. Smart, right? I was on that for, what was it, Cymbalta. I was on for a week and a half, and then we were like, this isn't working. So he took me off and put me immediately back on my Zoloft. And then he put me on a Butrans patch, which I'm on now. And again, hasn't done shit. So, a lot of the stuff that happened at Rusk happened because I had the conversion disorder label on me. I mean, every single time I had one of my fits in front of an OT or a PT, what they would tell me is they would rub my back and say, just calm down, just calm down. I'm trying to be calm. That's obviously not what it looks like when I have one of those episodes. It's a lot more terrifying. But surprisingly, when I have those and they're telling me to just be calm, I'm already calm. I can't control what's happening. And I've been going through these now for about 3 or 4 weeks, so I've kind of gotten used to it. They just didn't understand that. And I mean, even at one point, they decided to do one of these things. It was like an athlete's thing where they put you in an ice-cold bath and then move you to a hot bath. And they did that with my feet, which makes no sense because I don't have any pain in my feet, really. And despite my screams and crying because it hurt so bad, they wouldn't stop. Because when you have a conversion disorder, you know, you can't really listen to the patient. They just have to do the treatment. So basically, now I'm back home after being away for over a month, and we still have no answers. We, next week, I believe, have an appointment with a Chiari specialist at Weill Cornell, and we're not going to let them bullshit us, because I'm scared, and my parents are scared that this is a sign that things are getting worse with my Chiari, and that I'm going to need more surgery. I mean, we already were of the opinion that I was going to need a revision surgery because I'm still in immense pain. But it's not fun, and it's probably going to be an emergent one again since I've been having these fits. And it's very possible that I'll have to do rehab all over again. It's really ridiculous. And at this point I'm not using the notes that I had anymore, I'm just kind of ranting. Because I'm really disappointed with the treatment that I've received. I'm angry, and I just don't understand how this can happen, how doctors can be so bad at their jobs, how they could, I mean, we had doctors that didn't even know what syringomyelia was or Opisthotonus. They had no idea what this was. I don't expect the general public to know of these disorders, but for doctors to not know? It's crazy. I mean, Chiaris are common enough that they should know of these other overlapping disorders. And I get, I'm an extremely rare case. The things that I'm experiencing are atypical, and extremely atypical. I mean, we've tried scouring the web, and we've only found 2 or 3 other people in case studies that have experienced some of the symptoms similar to mine. So that's kind of the update for now, where I was, where I'm at now, and the frustrations that have come along with all of that. I'm still hopeful that my pain can get under control, but after almost 2 years, you begin to lose a bit of hope because no one's listening. But since we're going to the Chiari specialist, it's more likely that they'll have seen a case like mine. So, yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really know if I should say I hope you guys enjoyed that, because it wasn't very enjoyable. I mean, it wasn't enjoyable to experience, but let alone listen to, because it's kind of horrifying listening to the way doctors have treated me, because you would not expect it. I never expected to be treated this badly or discriminated against this much just because of my psych history. But I digress. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video where I won't be ranting. I'll go back to my singing. I promise. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye, guys.